looking crazy, a storm on the horizon, the pressure is low. Gotta get moving, put on a show. The news is all buzzing, state of alert, but we've got a plan, we're ready to work. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. See a little fire or a rising flood, we're a well-oiled machine, we're running in the mud. From the city hall meetings to the rescue teams, turning worst case scenarios into hopeful dreams. We're training the people, stocking the gear, we're the team you can count on when trouble is near. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. It's more than a job, it's a calling, you see. Prepared for the present and what's yet to be. Every second counts, we're ready to react for our communities. We're making an impact. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. Yeah, we're picking you up, we're ready to go. EMA, let's get this show on the road.
Let's get this show on the road. Emergency Management Associates is on the air. We're on the air, guys. Welcome to Emergency Management Associates tonight. We're coming to you from the Area Command, 392 miles west of Kitty Hawk Beach, North Carolina, folks. We're here for you all day long, 7 days a week. If something happens, we're going to be coming on the air to tell you about it. Monday through Friday, we usually come on the air between 4 and 5 o'clock. Today, it's after 5:30 in the evening, Eastern Time. I'm sorry about that. There's been a lot of things going on. We couldn't put off the shelf, and we had to take care of business. Now we're here with you right now. Now, I want to start off this program with less than Emergency Management Associates, okay? What I'm going to talk to you now has nothing really to do with the emergencies at all. However, I'm going to pay tribute to a friend of ours, okay? Randy Jones. Randy Jones was a pitcher for the Padres baseball organization during the 70s and 80s, okay? He joined the Hall of Fame in the 1990s, okay? He joined the Baseball Hall of Fame in the 1990s. I want to pay tribute to him for a minute. My father, when I was a young man, my father built a fireplace and a wall around Randy Jones' property in Poway, California. Today, the great Randy Jones, the pitcher, has passed away after a long, valiant battle with cancer. There was no one else like him, and I cherished our friendship that spanned his career. This is a picture at Petco Park, okay? Now, my friend Mark Larson, who's in the center of this picture, and one of his friends is there, okay? Mark Larson's also a friend of mine from San Diego. He used to work as the manager of KFMB Radio, general manager of KFMB Radio. Actually, not the general manager. He was a program manager at KFMB Radio in San Diego. He loves the Padres as much as I do. Okay? Actually, possibly even more. KFMB Radio back in the day broadcast the Padres games, all of them. Every one of the Padres games, KFMB broadcast. Okay? Now, I want to recognize Randy Jones, not just as a pitcher, but a great friend to all. Okay? Anybody that saw him, recognize him as a friend because he outstretched his hand to shake people's hand and get to know them. There are so many good times I can tell you about Randy Jones. Laughs, all kinds of charitable work that Randy Jones and his family did in Poway and San Diego, California. Our deepest sympathies and prayers go out to his wonderful family, Marie. And a statement from the San Diego Padres organization today says, it is with profound sadness that the Padres announced Randy Jones passed away at age 75. With deep sorrow and heavy hearts, the Padres will mourn the passing of our beloved left-hander. He was a left-hand pitcher, a great man, a great philanthropist as well. So it's with great sadness that I announced Randy Jones' passing on my program. I only knew him for a short time when he pitched for the Padres. Okay? I went on a mission for my church in the mid-70s, so I missed out on part of his career. I came back, and I was a great fan of the Padres organization. I was a great fan of Randy Jones after my father introduced me to him. Great man. So Randy Jones, we take off our hat to you, and we wish your family deepest condolences, your family and your great wife, Marie. Thank you so much for everything, and God bless you. Rest in peace, Randy Jones. Thank you for being here for all of us. Okay? Now, I want to go back and talk about Mount Rainier. Before I do that, okay, I want to talk about the tremors up in the Pacific Northwest. Okay? We talked about that yesterday. I'm going to talk about that right now. I'm going to start off down south in Oregon. Okay? Down south here in Oregon, northwest of Medford, there's always some tremors here, just like there are today, right there. Okay? Yesterday, all 177 tremors were focused down here in southwestern Oregon, the same location. Yesterday, there was 177 tremors. Now, gosh, there's a ton more. There's a ton more. Look at all these tremors down here in the south. But not to be outdone, let's go up north. Let's go up north. Vancouver Island. Look at all these tremors around Vancouver Island. South central Vancouver Island here. Okay? I've got a friend of mine that lives in this area. Now, tremors are not being felt by normal people. Tremors cannot be felt. Tremors are 1.0 in magnitude up to 1.9. Tremors and minor earthquakes cannot be felt. These are all tremors, guys. All of these quakes are tremors here. They're not felt at all. I want to make that clear. All of these quakes are tremors and they're not being felt at all. Okay? Now, over in Washington and Oregon, today, the Pacific Northwest Seismic Network says there's 148 tremors today. That's all. Yesterday, there were 177 down there south or northwest of Medford. Today, northwest of Medford and up here on Vancouver Island, a total of 148 tremors. And we know that's not all. They never tell us the truth about all the earthquakes and tremors that happen. Never. Not a chance. They just don't do it. But I want to show you this. This is important information. This is very important information, guys. Okay? I want to start off with that because they tell us what's going on and they're not telling us the truth. They never do. They never have, never will. Okay? Now, with that said, let's talk about Mount Rainier. Okay? This is a picture of Mount Rainier that I have placed as a thumbnail on our YouTube channel tonight. This is a present picture of Mount Rainier from a couple days ago. Okay? Now, with that said, more is happening. There's a lot more that's happened. Okay? I want to show you what is happening now at Mount Rainier. All day today, Mount Rainier has again moved. Not in a great manner. I'm not saying a huge magma movement. Yes, magma has moved. I want to make that clear. Yes, magma has moved. But Mount Rainier has not erupted. Mount Rainier may not erupt at all. But, as we've said before, with this movement, there is a possibility that Mount Rainier could erupt. I'm throwing that out there again today. Mount Rainier could erupt. Now, first thing I want to do is show you STAR, which is the abbreviation for St. Andrews Rock in Washington State. This is a seismograph that's located on the western side of Mount Rainier. This right here. This is a seismogram. The seismogram is a computer readout from the seismograph that records activity at Mount Rainier at various seismographs. There are approximately 10 to 11 seismographs all around each one of these volcanoes except Glacier Peak. I didn't show a seismogram from Glacier Peak on last night's broadcast because, guess what? They're not showing anything on the seismograph at all. The computer readout, the seismogram doesn't show anything. That's because the agency has scrubbed the information. Either Pacific Northwest Seismic Network or the USGS has scrubbed the information. Occasionally, they will put out a seismogram that's showing information, but presently they're not doing that. This is pretty much the same information we showed you yesterday at Mount Rainier, at St. Andrews Rock. The same thing is happening. Yes, we're getting harmonic tremors here. We're also showing some earthquakes, some minor earthquakes. This does not mean Mount Rainier is going to erupt today. It's not. What this means is that Mount Rainier is still showing signs that it will erupt at some point in time. Mount Rainier will erupt at some point in time, but this is just added information. This is just added information. Now, some people tried to say on various platforms, including Facebook and over on YouTube, on some people's YouTube channels, they're trying to say that this seismograph, the seismograph is a machine, guys. The seismograph is a readout. They're saying the seismograph is exposed to the weather, meaning wind, rain, hail, and snow. Yes, it could be. The seismograph could be exposed to these elements, but not day after day like this. Not day after day like this. It's not happening. This is deep inside the mountain. This is coming from deep inside the mountain, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you. Unreal. Unreal. This activity is coming within the mountain. Magma is rising within the mountain. Also volcanic gases, magma gases. SO2, sulfur dioxide, and CO2, carbon dioxide, are working their way up through the magma chamber inside Mount Rainier. How would this happen? How would we get these kind of readouts from the seismogram? How's that possible? When magma rises, guys, when magma goes through the magma channels, it fractures the rock inside the magma channel, doesn't it? That fractured rock is creating movement within the mountain, isn't it? That movement is being recorded by the seismograph on the seismogram that we're showing you here. Earth movement, guys. Earth movement. Magma and gas are rising within Mount Rainier. Now, there have been people that have reported that the glaciers on Mount Rainier have melted. Not completely. Not completely. Yes, there has been rain around the Pacific Northwest. We know that. Storm after storm of coming off the Pacific Ocean. Okay? The Pacific Ocean Fruit Express, basically. Okay? Huge weather systems have come off the Pacific Ocean. Yes, it has rained almost constantly, and in the mountains of Washington, including at Mount Rainier, there's been snow. So some people are saying that the glaciers have melted because of the heat in the volcano. That is partially true. But at these higher elevations, there's been snow. Okay? During the summer, because of the heat and the magma that's been rising inside Mount Rainier, there's been heat. And that heat has melted some of the glaciers. Heaven's sakes. Earlier this year, we saw pictures of Mount Rainier without snow for the first time in a long time. Usually there's snow on Mount Rainier all year long. But today during the summer, or not today, this past summer, a lot of Mount Rainier was uncovered from snow and ice. That is because of the magma rise inside the volcano, creating heat. We've seen that before. Okay? A lot of years ago, I believe it was probably 2020 when this happened. Somewhere in my files, I've got a GIF video showing a lahar going on the side, the west side of Mount Rainier. Actually, the northwest side of Mount Rainier. Okay? A huge ice and snow sheet fell off down the mountain. A huge ice and snow sheet fell off on the mountain. With that huge ice and snow sheet falling down, it took with it trees, branches, and rocks off the side of Mount Rainier, creating a lahar. We talked about lahars a lot on this program. When that happened, a lahar happened. Okay? Now, when that happened, you need to understand the United States Geological Survey and the United States Forest Service said, oh, nothing's happened. There's been no lahar. But later, a week or so later, they had to admit there had been a lahar. The rivers and creeks on Mount Rainier filled with the debris, the rock, the branches and pieces of tree, great big huge pieces of a tree came down the mountain with a lahar. Now, since President Trump has been in office the first time, right before he was out of office, he visited Mount Rainier National Park. They tested the lahar sirens on that day. Now there are lahar sirens on Mount Rainier. Okay, so when Mount Rainier finally does erupt, the lahar sirens will sound when the lava starts coming down the mountain and these glaciers melt. When the glaciers and snow melt, it's going to bring down rock and a lot of wood and tree debris from the mountain. That's going to happen. We know it. But the lahar sirens should put out the warning that it's going to happen, that is in present time happening. Okay? That's going to be there for all of us. However, no one else is going to tell anyone about it. Why? Why is the news media and why are the general population being held in abeyance? The simple reason is this. The politicians, the Democrat politicians in Washington, and I'm talking about the state of Washington, don't want this information getting out. Okay? Right now, the United States Geological Survey has Mount Rainier at a green normal rating, meaning Mount Rainier is not anywhere close to eruption. Okay? That's what they're telling everybody. That's what they're telling everybody, guys. But they're not showing the truth. They are not telling everybody the gospel truth here. The politicians want to stay in power here. The politicians that are presently in office don't want the truth to be going out. Because if the people knew exactly what was going to happen or what could happen, they would move away from Washington State. The details that I have read in the last several days have said, if Mount Rainier is really doing this, I'm getting out of Dodge. Yeah, I've heard that. And do you think this would be possible if this information didn't leak out? If people like myself hadn't put this out, the news media certainly wouldn't be doing it. Not one news agency, not ABC, not NBC, not CBS, not Fox News, not even CNN has been talking about this. They should be, but they don't have a clue. They're not being told exactly what's going on here. The only time you're going to get this information is from people like myself, the alternative media. The alternative media is telling you the truth. Okay? Now I want to turn your eyes and focus to the bottom of this seismograph. Look at it closely. Okay? This is more than just tremors that are happening. Okay? Look at the length of this seismic events here. The length of this black line here at the bottom. Look at it closely. The length of some of these seismic events, those indicate that these events are coming at least, not just tremors, but minor earthquakes as well. 2.0 earthquakes. 2.0 minor earthquakes here. Yes, 99% of it are tremors, but there are 2.0 minor earthquakes hitting here as well on Mount Rainier, and it is constant. It is constant. As I said earlier in the beginning of my presentation, the tremor map showed over 140 tremors. What is this we're seeing here? What is this we're seeing here? Almost every second, we have a new tremor here at Mount Rainier. That's what it's showing. That's exactly what it's showing here. And yet the USGS and the Pacific Northwest Seismic Network that put out that tremor map are only showing 144 tremors, just like they showed 177 tremors yesterday. They're not being honest. The tremors are not just happening here at Mount Rainier. They're happening at every volcano. They're happening up and down the whole west coast of North America. The entire west coast of Vancouver, British Columbia, Vancouver Island, British Columbia, Washington, Oregon. They're not showing us everything going on. As I pointed out yesterday, there are tremors over at Seaside, Oregon, Pacific County, Oregon. There are tremors over at Gerhardt, Oregon, near the central coastline of Oregon. Tremors and minor earthquakes. Astoria, Oregon. Up around Grays Harbor, Washington. Ocean Shores, Washington. And various other places I showed you yesterday. These tremors and minor earthquakes are happening, yet USGS is not showing them on the map. Why not? Again, it comes back to the politicians telling the United States Geological Survey to not talk about it. Because if people knew about it, they would move out of the area. Just as the comments on our video yesterday and the comments of other people's videos and presentations on Facebook. I'm telling you guys, this is serious, and we're going to keep reporting on it as long as this continues to happen. Yes, it could turn out to be nothing, and I hope it is. I actually hope it is nothing. I hope this continues to reverse, but it hasn't so far. This has been ongoing now for 4 days. This buildup of seismic events at Mount Rainier has been building up and continues for the past 4 days now. Since the 15th. Today's the 19th. I showed you the buildup of events here at Mount Rainier last night. If you didn't see last night's video, go back and take a look at it. But this is ongoing, as you can see. It has not stopped, and in fact, it's continuing. It's not slowed down, it is continuing. I want you to be aware of it. You need to be aware of it. Now, I'm going to show you several other seismograms here at Mount Rainier. First, Mount Fremont, just north of the summit of Mount Rainier. Look at this. Look at all the tremors early on this morning and last night after 5 p.m. Look at all those tremors after 5 p.m. They're continuing, but look at what happened later this morning. Look at the harmonic tremors later this morning. This is what we're talking about, guys. After 7:30 this morning, it turned into harmonic tremors again. Harmonic tremors are magma causing the ground to vibrate. Harmonic tremors are magma that is causing the ground to vibrate. Again, at Mount Fremont here. At Mount Fremont. Look at the bottom of this seismogram here. These are not just tremors, these are minor earthquakes as well. This black line here is after 1 p.m. today. After 1 p.m. today. Yes, we are seeing 2.0 earthquakes, but I believe we're also seeing 2.5 and 2.6 earthquakes here at Mount Rainier, at Mount Fremont. Look at that. Look at that. Just after 1:05 p.m. this afternoon on that black line. 2.5, 2.6 earthquake. Just after 1 p.m. on the left-hand side there. Guys, that's a 2.6, possibly 2.7 earthquake there. Minor earthquakes. Minor earthquakes. Again, you're not going to feel these. Minor earthquakes cannot be felt. But they're there anyway. They're there. Okay? Whether you can feel them or not, it's happening, and this seismogram shows it. Over towards the right. Okay? Now, there was another creator here on YouTube that put out a video about Mount Rainier earlier today, but she was wrong as well. Okay? She's an expert when it comes to Yellowstone. She's an expert when it comes to Yellowstone. She hasn't been studying Mount Rainier like I have and several other people have. Over on the right-hand side, just after 1:14, almost 1:15 this afternoon, 2.0 earthquake there. 2.0 earthquake there. 2:06 on the left-hand side, a 2.0 earthquake there as well. So yes, we're having tremors, harmonic tremors, and we're also seeing earthquakes as well. All over this seismogram, we're showing you microquakes, tremors, and full-blown tremors causing harmonic vibration of the mountain, and also minor earthquakes as well. This proves what we've been saying. The activity is there. Mount Rainier and the surrounding area is vibrating. It's moving. Now, I want to show you a couple other seismograms from this area. I want to show you Camp Muir. Camp Muir is over on the north side of Mount Rainier. Camp Muir is right here. Okay. Even Camp Muir is showing seismic activity happening, and they're showing some harmonic tremors here as well. Over in here near the top of the seismogram here on the left-hand side, after 9:30 p.m., about 9:33 p.m. last night, a 2.1, 2.2 earthquake hit. You can see that on the blue line there. 2.1, 2.2 earthquake hit last night. 9:32, 9:33 last night. You can see all kinds of tremor activity here, including harmonic tremors here. Camp Muir. This is ongoing on all parts of the volcano. On all parts of the volcano. Let's go look at Camp Sherman. During the previous weeks, we've had a lot of activity at Camp Sherman. We're still seeing some activity here. Up at the top line, as in all other circumstances on these seismograms that we're showing you tonight. Top left-hand side is 5 p.m. 5 p.m. yesterday evening. After that, you see tremors here. Lots of tremors. On the blue line, center right here, after 1:30 this morning, you see 01 over on the left-hand side. Just below that, you have a blue line. That blue line is 1:30. We come over across here near the center, on the right side of the center of the seismogram, we have a 2.6, 2.7 earthquake that happened after 1:14 a.m. this morning. 1:14 a.m. this morning, we have a 2.6, 2.7 earthquake. Then, after 3:30 this morning, 3:30 this morning, at approximately 3:08 a.m. this morning, 3:08 a.m. this morning, a 3.2, 3.3 earthquake hit at Mount Rainier and recorded by the Camp Sherman seismogram here. Look at that. 3.2, 3.3 earthquake. A short while later, at 4:15 on the next red line here, we have a 2.4 earthquake. 2.4 minor earthquake. The 3.2, 3.3 was a small earthquake. We have one more minor earthquake that happened after 10:30 this morning. Actually, not 10:30, 10:01 this morning. 2.2, maybe 2.3 earthquake. Now you see a symbol here on the center right. That is called a magma churn signal. Magma churn signals. It's that black symbol there on the right. Magma churn signals are supposed to be 23 to 24 lines high. Let's zoom in on this. I want to show you this. Look at this, guys. Let's count how many lines this is. We count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lines high. That means the seismologists, the people who attend the seismographs, have turned the strength of the seismograph down to only show maybe 30% of real world. 30% of real world, meaning the earthquakes and the tremors you're seeing here are actually larger than they are. The earthquakes and the tremors seen on this seismogram are actually larger than they are in reality, or reality here on the seismogram. That's because the seismograph has been turned down. And as a result, the information on this seismogram is failed. It's failed. Not telling us the complete truth. Because the seismologist turned down the strength of the seismograph. These events are actually larger than they are here shown on the paper. Also, up to the side of that magma churn signal, you see other vertical lines here. Those vertical lines to the right of the size of the magma churn signal, those are steam signatures. Steam signatures. Mount Rainier is also steaming. Steaming. Anybody that lives around Mount Rainier typically sees the steam coming out of Mount Rainier on a regular basis. Whether it's every minute, every hour, whatever it is, Mount Rainier is steaming. How is that possible? How's it possible? Let me go back to our webcam here and I'll show you how that's possible. Okay, Mount Rainier is steaming. We know for a fact there's magma going up inside the volcano, isn't it? Magma is flowing up inside that magma channel, isn't it? When that magma down beneath the summit of the volcano hits the magma plug, that volcanic plug, the lava plug that was left over after the last eruption of Mount Rainier. Great big huge volcanic rock is sitting there, keeping that volcano under control, keeping that volcano from erupting. Magma is hammering away at that bottom of that plug, hammering away every day, every minute and every hour of every day. Magma is hitting that. Magma is hitting this under pressure. As the magma hits the bottom of that volcanic rock, that plug of the volcano is developing holes or fractures inside that plug. The plug of the volcano is developing fissures, cracks in the plug. 67% of all magma is water. 67% of all magma is water. Well, what does that do? When that magma is hammering away at that plug, the water content of the magma is being released through those tiny holes in the rock, through those tiny cracks in the rock. The hot water vapor is being released. Now we come to a physics question here. A physics question. What happens when hot water or hot water vapor goes through that lava plug, goes through those cracks? What happens? Can anybody tell me? For those people that have been following this channel forever, what happens? Those fissures or cracks enlarge, don't they? Heat enlarges those cracks like this, doesn't it? Heat enlarges those cracks like this. As a result, more and more water vapor is being released in the atmosphere from Mount Rainier or from any volcano at all. When that happens, those cracks get larger, don't they? And at some point in time, with all that heavy-duty pressure hitting that lava rock, that lava plug at the top of the volcano, what happens? At some point in time, that rock completely fractures and pops. It pops. Then we have a volcanic eruption. Now, I don't know when Mount Rainier will actually erupt. As I told you several weeks ago, scientists visited the summit of Mount Rainier. I don't know whether it was a helicopter visit or whether they flew drones over it, but they found ash at the top of Mount Rainier. They found ash on the snow and the glaciers of Mount Rainier. That means we've already had a partial eruption at Mount Rainier. Ash, guys. It's already happened. At some point in time, that lava plug will disintegrate and we will have an eruption at Mount Rainier. We don't know when that eruption is going to happen. But we are seeing evidence that the volcano is moving. It's moving. It doesn't matter whether the USGS or the Pacific Northwest Seismic Network admit to it. And they turn the green signal that they already have at Mount Rainier to yellow cautionary signal, which they should do. Because Mount Rainier is about to erupt. Mount Rainier is showing signs it could erupt. And I would think that they would change it to a yellow cautionary signal. But they're not doing it. They are not doing it. SagePub said there are funerals going on at Mount Rainier. Yes, they are. They're going on at Mount St. Helens. They're going on at most volcanoes. Fumaroles. That means pressure from the inside of the volcano is forcing steam and the heat from the magma, and it's boiling the groundwater at the volcano. Boiling the groundwater at the volcano causing fumaroles. You see it at all the volcanoes, including Yellowstone. You see it at all volcanoes, including Yellowstone. Fumaroles going off. Okay, it happens every time. That is going off at Mount Rainier as we see it. Okay, this volcano is beginning to show signs that it will erupt. Okay, it's showing tremors, it's showing microquakes, and we also have not just microquakes, we have minor earthquakes as well. And we've shown you that Mount Rainier, Mount St. Helens are also having small earthquakes. 3.2, 3.3 earthquakes as we see here on this particular seismograph. It's going on. They can deny it's happening, but the scientific evidence proves it. They can say, oh no, Mount Rainier is under a green normal status. Yes, that's what they have it at. That does not mean it is truthful. That does not mean what they're saying is truthful. It's not. This is Camp Sherman. I've shown you Camp Sherman and I've shown you Camp Muir now. Camp Sherman is on the south side of Mount Rainier. Camp Muir is on the north. Okay. I want to show you one other seismogram here. I showed you this yesterday. I'm showing you today. The next seismogram I'm showing you right here is from Emerald Ridge. This is on the southwest side of Mount Rainier. That's where this seismograph is located. The Emerald Ridge seismograph is a multi-channel seismograph. 5 different channels here. And this particular, actually it's a 3-channel seismograph here. This particular channel is called the HHN channel. The HHN channel, most of these volcanoes are showing the magma coming in through the magma chamber of the volcano. How's that possible? When you see these wavy lines, these are called very low frequency lines, or VLF. The magma running through the volcano is causing these VLF signals. When you have these VLF signals as close together as you see at the bottom of this seismogram, this means a lot of magma is transpiring or being transported through the volcano, through the magma chamber. But why are they not being truthful with the other seismograms? Okay, you're seeing a lot of magma coming through the magma channel at Mount Rainier, at Emerald Ridge. Why is this not being shown as other earthquakes as well on the other seismographs? Why? The answer is simple. That's because the agency does not want to admit what's going on. We can go into the depths of the data which I've done here. I'm showing you what's actually going on. When there's magma going through the volcano as it is shown on the diagram here, the magma is fracturing rock inside the volcano. The fracturing rock is causing earthquakes, earth movement. If you heard the words fracturing rock, it's called earth movement. Earth movement. This is what causes earthquakes. Why are they not showing this on the other diagrams, such as this? I'm sorry, that's not the one. Why are they not showing here? Yes, here they're showing the harmonics here, the ground vibrating. But with that amount of magma running through the magma chamber at Mount Rainier, don't you think we'd see a bunch of other earthquakes? Oh, yes. But again, they are not giving us the exact data. They don't want to admit what's exactly going on here at Mount Rainier. This kind of data is what they show us almost on a daily basis. They don't want to be honest with what's going on. But when we do our homework, when we go through the data, we can definitely show what is actually happening. They're scrubbing the data off the diagrams. They don't want to admit exactly what's going on here. Now, as I've spoken before yesterday and even before that for the last 6.5 years, there are millions of people that live around this volcano. Mount Rainier is surrounded by millions of people on the north, the east, the south, and the west side of the volcano. Over in Grays Harbor to the northwest, the people living in the cabins and homes at Grays Harbor are sitting on top of lava flows. They're sitting on tops of lava flows from Mount Rainier. Do you think that's going to happen again? Oh, heck yes. It absolutely will. Millions of people are in harm's way here. The agency doesn't want to admit what's going on because they've been told to shut up. The agency's been told, don't talk to anybody. Don't talk to the news media. Don't talk to anybody. Don't let this go out. That's why we see these kinds of seismographs all over the place. That's why we're only seeing harmonic tremors. That's why we're only seeing minor earthquakes and other tremors here. Because they don't want us to know exactly what's happening at Mount Rainier or any other volcano. This is going on. It's not stopping. It's continuing. Now, this is disgusting behavior by the agencies. And when Mount Rainier erupts and when people are put in harm's way, when they're actually put in harm's way and people become unalived and people get injured from the volcanic eruption, I'm going to physically keep talking about it. I'm going to continue talking about it because it's the right thing to do. Because the agency has lied. The politicians have lied. The politicians want to remain in power here. It's a power struggle. They want to remain employed. That is why they're telling the agencies to shut up. If the politicians weren't telling the agency to shut up, you'd better believe the agencies would be squawking. You can better believe the agencies would be squawking. One, it's the right thing to do. Two, people's lives are in danger. They should be talking. Last night we talked about Mount St. Helens. Let's go back and talk about Mount St. Helens tonight. Okay? This seismograph is from September low, which is a seismograph sitting on top of Mount St. Helens. This seismogram comes from September lobe, SCP as we refer to it. Okay? SCP are the initials for the seismograph. What are we seeing here? Let's enlarge this. Look at this earthquake here on the black line after 1800 hours. After 1800 hours. 1800 hours is 6 p.m. military time. 6 p.m. last night at Mount St. Helens. This is a 2.6, 2.7 earthquake. Why are they not showing it? Why are they not showing what's going on here? 2.6, 2.7 earthquake. Yes, it's a minor earthquake. This is definitely a minor earthquake. Is it shown on the USGS map? Hell no. Hell no. The United States Geological Survey doesn't want anybody to know what's happening. That's why they're not talking about it on the map. This is a minor earthquake. They talk about minor earthquakes all over the United States. Sometimes when they get around to it. When they get around to it. Remember that, when they get around to it. When they decide they want to talk about a minor earthquake, they do. Why are they not showing this? Because they don't believe they have to. They don't believe they have to. And you see tremors at other parts of this seismogram, don't you? Those tiny vertical lines here and dots on the seismogram are tremors. 1.0, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3 tremors here. But look down here. After 10:15 this morning, on this red line here. This earthquake happened at 10:23 this morning. 10:23 this morning. This is a 3.2, 3.3 earthquake, just like we had a 3.3 earthquake over at Mount Ranier. This one is at Mount St. Helens, 10:15 this morning, or 10:23 this morning. 10:15 is the time over on the left-hand side on the right line, on this red line. This earthquake happened at 10:23 this morning. 3.2, 3.3 earthquake here. Interesting. Interesting. Again, why are they not showing this earthquake on the USGS map? Why not? Why not? Let me show you the same seismograph, different channel. Different channel. This is the seismograph channel that shows the magma coming into Mount St. Helens. Same seismograph, different channel. The SCP or the September lobe seismograph, it has a 6-channel system. This is channel BDF CC01. Look what we're showing you here. The top of this seismogram is showing you 5 p.m. last night. 5 p.m. last night. When does this magma start going crazy here at Mount St. Helens? When does it start going crazy? About 4:30 this morning. 4:30 this morning. After 5 a.m., look how it gets. A huge amount of magma starts flowing through Mount Rainier at 5 a.m. this morning. And it continues. It continues after we even pulled the seismogram today. It's continuing. A large amount of magma is flowing into Mount St. Helens as we speak. It's continuing. But again, why are they not showing the information on the SCP seismogram, like right there. Yes, they're showing one earthquake here. One lousy earthquake. Why are they not showing the others? Why are they not showing the others? This is 523. Why are they not showing the other earthquakes that are here? Yes, if this earthquake is hit, other earthquakes have also hit. Again, they are scrubbing information from the seismogram. This is the main seismogram from September lobe. SCP September lobe, BHZCC. This is the main seismogram from that seismograph. The other one I showed you is September lobe, BDF CC01, which shows the magma coming into the volcano. That kind of magma coming into the volcano with such pressure is going to cause earthquakes. And they're only showing one earthquake here later this morning. 5:23 this morning. Why are they not showing the other earthquakes here? And I'm sure there are other earthquakes. They can tell us there's nothing happening. They tell us there's nothing happening on the USGS map. Otherwise, they'd be showing this earthquake. They show other 3.0 earthquakes around the globe. Why are they not showing this one? Why are they not showing this earthquake? We have to ask them. And guys, if you are a seismologist working for the Cascade Volcanic Observatory, call me. Call me and talk to me so you can explain to me why your agency is not telling the truth. Explain to me, guys, why you're not showing this on the USGS map. Inquiring minds want to know, and we have the right to know. We have the right to know, guys. It's not just here at Mount St. Helens or Mount Rainier. It's at all the volcanoes. It is all the seismographs all around the world. They are not being honest with us at all. They are not being honest with us at all. None. There's been no honesty from the USGS in years. Years, guys. I'm telling you, years. I've been watching this. I've been reporting on it. This is not the first go around here. This is not the first go around. Let's go over and look at the USGS map here. I want to show you the USGS map here. Okay? I'm going to take down a webcam. I'm going to take down our EMA banner. I'm going to take down our map or our picture of Mount Rainier here. Why am I doing this? I want to show you what USGS is really showing us around the world. And again, what you're seeing here on the USGS map is not actuality. There are over 2,000 earthquakes worldwide. There are over 2,000 earthquakes that hit the world since last night. Are they showing them all? No, not even close. This earthquake on the east of the Kamchatka Peninsula here is a 5.0 earthquake. They're showing us a 5.0 earthquake. Where are the other earthquakes? Where are the other earthquakes, guys? Where are the other earthquakes? Let me show you something. I'm going to go up and I'm going to come back up with our webcam here. I want to show you what's going on. Okay, 2 earthquakes here. Here's that 5.0 that you see on the USGS map. This is an EMSC map, the European Agency map. Here's a 4.5. There's a 4.5. So the European Agency is showing us 2 earthquakes, not just 1. Why is USGS getting away with this? Why are they getting away with this? What's wrong here? What's wrong here? Let's go to Japan here. Go over to Japan. Off the coast of Honshu, Japan. This earthquake happened last night after 9 p.m. About 9:23 p.m. Eastern Time. This again is a 5.0 large earthquake, 6.2 miles deep. In this case, the European Agency is showing the same thing here. A 5.0 earthquake off the coast of Honshu, Japan. That's fine and good. But guess what? There's more than that. South Central Japan. Hitakawa, Japan. This is a minor 2.1. Minor 2.1. Let's go further south here, in the Ryukyu Islands here. There are islands south of Japan called the Ryukyu Islands. In fact, there's a volcano right here. Suwanezi-jima volcano right there. Right there, you can see it. Suwanezi-jima volcano. Other islands here as well as Okinawa's down here as well. Guess what? They're not showing not one earthquake here. They're not showing one earthquake here south of Japan. Let's go south of Japan with the European Agency. This is a 2.3 earthquake here. South of that 2.3, this is a 4.0, 3.9, 4.0 earthquake. Why do I call it a 3.9, 4.0 earthquake? Because the agency tells us, and they've told us already, that they downgrade the quakes. The European Agency is calling this a 3.9. This was a large earthquake. This was at least a 4.0 moderate earthquake. 3.0 to 3.9 are considered to be small earthquakes. 4.0 and larger are called moderate earthquakes. The EMSC agency is calling this a 3.9. They downgrade the earthquakes to the nearest 0.9. Guess what? This is probably a 4.0 earthquake here. And I'm showing you the exact same location here. I'm showing you the exact same locations where that earthquake was on the EMSC map, right there. Right there. Okay? The USGS is not showing us what's going on. They're showing us one earthquake in Taiwan. One earthquake in Taiwan. What is it? They're saying this is a 4.5 earthquake. They're saying it's east-northeast of Hualien City. It is south of Hualien City. Look where this earthquake is. Okay? 4.5 earthquake. That's interesting. They're also showing a 4.6 here. Both these earthquakes are very shallow earthquakes. 4.6, 4.5 off the coast of Taiwan. The ocean waters absorb the shockwaves of this quake. These are moderate quakes. The ocean waters absorb the shock waves of these earthquakes. The European agency shows the 4.3 earthquake here. They're also showing the other 4.6 here. So in this case, Europeans and the U.S. agency agree. It's not common, but it does happen. Look here in the Philippines. Look in the Philippines here, guys. USGS shows nothing. Nothing. Not anything. But guess what? Right here, off the southeast side, or actually off the central side of Luzon, Philippines here, we have an earthquake. Europeans are telling us a story. This is a 4.1 earthquake here. 4.1 earthquake, and USGS says nothing. Not a thing. Right there. See where it says Tarlac there? Off the coast of Luzon, Philippines there is a 4.1 earthquake right there. Okay, let's go south. This time over the central Philippines. Central Philippines here. Right here. About 5 weeks ago, we had a 6.4 earthquake here. 5 weeks ago, we had a 6.4 earthquake. USGS shows nothing. 5 miles east of the city of Bogo, we have a 3.5. 3.5 earthquake. Leyte, Philippines, a 3.1. Yes, USGS can show 3.1, 3.2, 3.0s, but in this case, they're not showing anything. Not a cotton picking thing. Let's go up here to the central part of the island here. See where it says Toledo City there? Right here. 3.4 earthquake there. USGS showing nothing. Not a thing. This is what I'm saying, guys. The United States Geological Survey is the preeminent seismic agency of the world. Yet they're not reporting earthquakes. Why not? Why not? Do you think they should? Heck yes, they should. Absolutely. This island is called Mindanao, Philippines here. This is Mindanao, Philippines right here. Okay? Off the northeastern shore of Mindanao, Philippines. This is a 4.2 moderate earthquake. Look where it's at. It's on the Philippine fault zone. The Philippine Sea fault zone here. 4.2 earthquake. 4.2 earthquake. USGS is not showing us anything. Not a thing. South of there, this is a 3.1. Not showing a squat. Less than squat. Let's go south there. Let's go south there, right here. North Sulawesi, Indonesia. North Sulawesi, Indonesia. This is a 4.0 earthquake right there. USGS is not showing it. That earthquake right here is further south. Bethel, Indonesia. This is a 4.8 earthquake here, or 4.0. Sorry, 4.0 here. Okay. But up here in the north, North Sulawesi, Indonesia, 4.0 earthquake there. Just barely south there, this is a 3.4. Just south there, it's another 3.9, 4.0. USGS shows nothing. Not a thing. Now, USGS is showing us that 4.8. Yes, there is indeed a 4.8 earthquake there, but there's two earthquakes. There are actually two earthquakes here in the Molucca Sea. Okay? Out here further to the west is a 3.5 that they're not showing us. Also further to the southeast, this is a 2.6. Not showing that either. And further here to the south, here's a 2.9. 2.9, 3.0. They're showing us one earthquake here in Indonesia. One earthquake and one earthquake alone. Look at this. They're showing us one earthquake here. They're showing us one earthquake. What's wrong with that picture? What's wrong with this picture, guys? 31 earthquakes here in Indonesia. They show us one. They show us one. Let me show you something else. This is Eastern Java. Here we have a 2.7 earthquake. Eastern Java. USGS shows us nothing. Guess what today? Guess what happened here in Eastern Indonesia? Eastern Java. Guess what, guys? Eastern Java had a volcanic eruption. Eastern Java had a volcanic eruption. I'm sorry I didn't get this put up. I didn't get this put up on my YouTube channel here, but I'm going to try to do it right now. I'm going to try to do it right now. I apologize for not having this ready when I first came on the air. I'm going to put it up here now. I want to show you what happened in Eastern Indonesia today. Semeru volcano erupted. Let me show you this. Look at this, guys. Look at the lahar going down the side of Semeru volcano.
Mundur. Ngep. Sama dah masuk dulu. Minggir.
Kepulan asap dulu.
Minggir.
Look how the ash, look how the volcanic
Gelap,
gases
gelap lur, gelap lur. Gelap
explode
total lur.
from the lahar.
Gelap lur, gelap lur. Geladak merah, gelap lur. Kabut membumbung tinggi
Completely
lur.
engulfing this bridge.
Gelap sekali.
Completely
Ini
engulfing
dari
that
Gunung
bridge.
Sawur masih turun. Di kayak ini.
Isn't that wild, guys? Watch that lahar pour down the mountain. I'm playing this again. I want you to see this.
Sudah mau melewati jembatan Gelap merah lur.
Look at that lahar go down the
Di bawah,
mountain.
hati-hati. Minggir, minggir, minggir. Revi, Revi. Revi, Ranier, Rev. Mundur, Rev. Revi.
Now watch this bridge. There is no steam and there's no ash at this time around this bridge. Watch what happens.
Mundur.
The vehicle's going to go down this bridge.
Yep. Sama dah, masuk
See that vehicle go down?
Minggir.
Hopefully it's going to get to the other side and get away from the ash and the steam from that volcano.
Minggir.
Because look what's happening. The ash and the steam from that lahar are engulfing this bridge.
Gelap lur. Gelap total lur. Gelap lur. Geladak merah, gelap lur. Kabut membumbung tinggi lur. Gelap sekali.
Ini dari Gunung Sawur
Volcano.
masih turun.
That's a powerful volcano, guys. That was this morning. That was this morning. What do you think about that? Hurricane Heather says, I'd have moped away before they got to me. I would too. Trish Killian said, Lahar's extremely hot. They're absolutely right. They're absolutely right. They are. Now, let's go back to the USGS map here. Why did the USGS not have that volcano that erupted here? Whenever there's a volcanic eruption, guys, that volcanic eruption is supported by an earthquake. When we have volcanic eruptions, there's always a 5.0 earthquake recorded at the same time that the volcano erupts. Always. At least a 5.0 earthquake. Yet the United States Geological Survey is not showing anything. Squat. Not showing anything anywhere near Indonesia. One earthquake. 31 earthquakes here in Indonesia, they show one near Tobelo, Indonesia. Yet they had a volcanic eruption and the USGS said nothing. Not one darn thing about it. Let's go out here. Over here in the Solomon Islands. This is the 4.1 moderate earthquake here in the Solomon Islands. Approximately 52 miles west-northwest of Kira, Solomon Islands, out here in the Pacific. Nobody felt this earthquake. Again, this is 52 miles west-northwest of Kira in the water. The ocean waters absorbed the shockwaves of this quake. Over here, this is Nursap, Vanuatu. Another 4.7 earthquake here in Vanuatu. 4.7 earthquake. Guys, nobody felt this earthquake either. out in the ocean here. 4.7 earthquake in the ocean. The ocean waters absorb the seismic waves from this earthquake. We go further south here. Okay. This is in the Loyalty Islands here. The Loyalty Islands here in the South Pacific. This is southeast of the islands. This is a 5.0 earthquake here. A 5.0 earthquake here in the Loyalty Islands. Interesting. Very interesting. Guess what? It's not the only thing. Not the only ones. Actually, it's a 5.1 according to Europeans. The European agency has this as a 5.1 earthquake. Okay. We go north. We go north up here. Navukali, Eastern Division, Fiji. 2.8 earthquake here. 2.8 earthquake. USGS shows nothing. Not a thing. South of Fiji Islands. South of Fiji Islands. They finally show this earthquake here. This is another 5.0 earthquake here. 5.0 earthquake. Okay. South there. The Kermadec Islands here. They're not showing anything. This is the 4.6 earthquake here in the Kermadec Islands. Guys, they're not showing anything here in the Kermadec Islands at all. They're not showing any earthquakes at all here near New Zealand. Not a thing. Nearly 40 earthquakes here in New Zealand. Nearly 40 earthquakes here in New Zealand. USGS shows nothing. Not a thing. 40 earthquakes here. USGS shows nothing. That's 10 earthquakes right there. That's 10 earthquakes right there. Why are they not showing everything like that? Look at the earthquakes on the North Island of New Zealand. By the way, it's called Rau Island. Look at the earthquakes there. Over here in the Bay of Plenty, that's a 2.1. On the landmass, on the North Island of New Zealand near the beach, this is the 3.3 earthquake. 3.3 earthquake. USGS not showing a thing. I want to zoom in here. I want to show you some earthquakes here. Just for kicks and giggles. Just so you know what's going on. Yes, we have a lot of people from New Zealand that watch our program. Okay. Further to the south, on that same earthquake fault coming out of Fiji. Look at that. That's another 2.1. Almost just west there, this is a 2.97 3.0 earthquake. USGS showing nothing. Near Rotorua, Vanuatu, or Rotorua, New Zealand. South there, Waikato region. This is a 2.81. Why am I showing you this? I want to come down over here to the volcano. Lake Taupo. Taupo Lake is a volcano called Taupo Volcano. Guess what? We have a 2.44 minor earthquake at Topo volcano. Do you think the New Zealand people, the Kiwis, are kind of worried about that? A volcano that has a 2.44 earthquake at the volcano? I'm sure they weren't worried about it. USGS obviously is not. Nobody felt that 2.44 earthquake. You can't feel minor earthquakes, but the scientists know about it. And I'm sure their news media talked about it this morning. That earthquake happened at 1:47 a.m. this morning. Interesting. Northwest of Topo Lake. Northwest of Topo Lake. We had a 2.79 earthquake there. 2.79 earthquake. East of Topo Lake, west of Hawke's Bay, we had a 2.59. USGS never shows earthquakes here in New Zealand except when they want to. Occasionally when they want to. They're not showing any earthquakes at all here. Nowhere here in New Zealand. To the south, 4 earthquakes here. Off the northeast shore of the South Island, this is a 2.4. Further south to the west, on the west side, this is a 2.3. Over on the west side here, on that same earthquake fault coming out of Fiji, this is a 2.933.0. 2.933.0. On that same fault line south there, this is a 2.5. Not showing any earthquakes, are they? Not one. Not one. They're not showing any earthquakes here in Australia. West Central Australia. Gascoyne River, 3.07 earthquake, 3.07 small earthquake. There was one other earthquake yesterday that they took down off the map over here in southwestern Australia here. Southeastern Australia, excuse me. This was a 3.0 earthquake here. They took it down just now, right before I want to show it to you. They took it down. Now, guys, we have earthquakes happening. We have earthquakes happening, whether they want to tell us about it or not. We have earthquakes happening. They never want to talk about it. They never, ever want to talk about it. They're not showing any earthquakes here in Africa. Interesting. Interesting. Offshore here in the Canary Islands. Right here. Right here. Okay. This is La Montanza, Ascenso, Canary Islands. 1.5 earthquake here. 1.5 earthquake. Yesterday over here in Ethiopia, we had a 4.1 earthquake here. This is in northwestern Africa. 4.1 earthquake here in Ethiopia. Again, what's going on here? See this fault zone here? It is opening up. It's opening up. It's getting wider and wider and wider with every earthquake that hits here. It's opening up. That earthquake here yesterday was just part of it. This area of Africa has been hitting almost 4 or 5 times a year now. 4 or 5 times a year here in Ethiopia. Okay? Before I get talking about any of the other things I want to talk about here, stay tuned here, guys. We have a lot of information we want to talk to you about. I want to go over here into Canada. I want to go over here to Canada. They're not showing us any earthquakes here in Canada. Why not? Why not? There are earthquakes here, and occasionally they do show them to us. But they're not doing that darn good of a job right now. They're not doing any kind of job at all. Presec, Quebec, Canada. Presec, Quebec, Canada. 2.56 earthquake here. 2.56 earthquake here. Guess what? Eastern Quebec, Canada. 2.09 earthquake here. 2.09. Bangor, Maine. Bangor, Maine. A 1.51 earthquake. 1.51 tremor. Of course, USGS not saying one word about any of these. Not one word. Interesting, but no cigar. Interesting, but no cigar. Southern California. Southern California, guys. Down here south of the border. This is a 3.0 earthquake here. That's a 3.0. This is a 2.3. That's a 2.3. This is a 3.7. I showed you an earthquake here yesterday. Delta, Mexico. Earthquakes are continuing here. Earthquakes are continuing here in northern Mexico. But they're not showing us any earthquakes at all over here near Cerro Prieto volcano. Nothing. Not a thing. Guess what? South of Cerro Prieto volcano, this is a 3.73 earthquake. 3.73 earthquake. This is a 2.32. Small and minor earthquake there. And this is a 2.86. South of Cerro Prieto volcano. Where Cerro Prieto volcano is? Right there. Right there. This is in northern Mexico. Northern Mexico. Let's zoom into it. For those of you that have been part of my program for years, you'll recognize a phoenix that's been carved into the lava plug of the volcano. Huge phoenix that's been carved into the upper part of that lava plug of the volcano. Cerro Prieto volcano. Interesting, huh? Yeah, it is. What's going on here? What's going on around this volcano? Over here to the west, we have another geothermal facility here. Another geothermal facility. Over here to the east, Another geothermal facility. What is going on with Cerro Prieto volcano? Just like they've done over at the Salton Butte volcano. They have drilled into the upper magma chambers of the Cerro Prieto volcano to obtain steam to power turbines here, to generate electricity here in northern Mexico. That's what they're doing. That's what they've been doing for years now. We can't show you close enough pictures from the satellite what's going on here. Let me show you what's going on. There's one of the geothermal facilities right there. Generating electricity for the people in northern Mexico. Taking the steam from the Cerro Prieto volcano to power turbines to generate electricity here in northern Mexico. They're doing the same thing on the western side. The western side here. By the way, guess what that is? That's part of the San Andres Fault. That's part of the San Andres Fault as it enters Mexico. After it enters Mexico. The San Andres Fault coming out of California. Okay? Interesting. Very interesting. Let's go over here into the Imperial Valley of Southern California. Right here. Right here. Just southwest of Bombay Beach. Southwest of Bombay Beach. Over here in the Salton Sea. This is a 1.2 tremor here. It's a 1.2 tremor here at Bombay Beach, California. Bombay Beach here, guys, was a resort back in the 50s and 60s. It was a geothermal facility resort. Populated by celebrities here. Populated by celebrities. Now it's been abandoned here. Totally and absolutely abandoned here. They still have porcelain tubs that were used to soak in. But those porcelain tubs are out of the water, completely out of the water. They used to pump hot water into those tubs. Now there's nothing. Nothing at all. But earthquakes continue to happen here at Bombay Beach. The USGS is not showing us exactly what's going on, but I can show you a seismogram that will show you 3.5 and 4.0 earthquakes happen here at Bombay Beach every day. Multiple earthquakes. 6 to 10 earthquakes a day here at Bombay Beach. 3.5 to 4.5 earthquakes every day because we have the San Andres Fault here. The San Andres Fault comes over here to Bombay Beach right here. You can see it here. This is where it goes underneath the ocean, up underneath the inland ocean here, the Salton Sea. But they don't want to tell us what's going on. They don't want to tell us what's going on. Here in the Imperial Valley, they have over 500 earthquakes a day. 500 earthquakes a day, and they don't show any of them. Not one of them. Interesting. No cigar. San Diego County. San Diego County, East County, San Diego. Santee, California. Santee, California, guys. This is actually northeast of Santee, in a town called Lakeside, California. This happens to be a 1.44 tremor here, just west of Lakeside. That's a town of Lakeside right there. This is out in the mountains just southwest of Lakeside. Right there. Actually, it's not even southwest, it's northwest of Lakeside. Okay. 1.44 tremor. They're lucky they even showed that. This earthquake right there. This is a 0.6 tremor. Microquake. This happens to be 3 miles south-southeast of Julian. Julian, I've spoken of Julian many times. Julian is a old cowboy town. They had a mine near Julian called the old, oh gosh, I can't even remember what it was now. I was going to tell you now. The name of it slips on my mind. Old gold rush town. Now they have apple pies being baked almost 24/7 here in the restaurants of Lakes of Julian, California. They serve you hot apple pie and hot apple cider every day. You can get breakfast, lunch, and dinner here in Julian, California. They ought to pay me for this commercial. Great place. Earlier this year, we had a 5.1 earthquake here in Julian. 5.1 large earthquake here. They do happen. This just happens to be a 0.6 microquake aftershock of that earthquake. To the north, this is over near Escondido, northeast of Escondido. This is Lake Henshaw. Good old Lake Henshaw. I used to pull fish out of Lake Henshaw. Actually, this is not Lake Henshaw, as they pointed out here. They want to say this is 4 miles southeast of Lake Henshaw. It is southwest of Lake Henshaw. Lake Henshaw is right there. They say it's southeast to southwest. This also is a 0.6 microquake. Lake Henshaw is just northeast of Escondido. I've been fishing here at Lake Henshaw. I used to live in Escondido. Okay. We have earthquakes all over Los Angeles. All over Los Angeles and Orange County. We'll talk about these earthquakes tomorrow. I want to make my way north here. This earthquake right here. Templeton, California. This is west of the San Andreas Fault on the Oceana Fault. This is a 1.5 tremor here. That red earthquake right here, different story. Avenal, California. 2 miles southwest of Avenal, California. 2.3 earthquake on the Hayward Fault. Hayward Fault, guys. East of the Hayward there is the Calaveras. This is a very dangerous area. Why? Because we have the San Andreas, we have the Hayward, and we have the Calaveras Fault. 3 of the most dangerous fault zones here in California. They come together south of Monterey Bay here. This is one of the most dangerous areas of California. If either one of the 3 of these faults goes, the other faults here are also going to pick up. They'll be activated here. They would be activated. We go up here to the north on the San Andreas. This is the Pinnacles here. This is also an oil and gas area here in the Pinnacles of California on the San Andreas. We go north. This is San Martin, California. This is a 1.3 tremor. Just south of San Jose. 7 Trees, California. 7 Trees, California with a 3.0 earthquake here. Out here right between the Calaveras and the Hayward Fault. Right here. San Ramon, California. Every day now for 2 weeks. Every day for 2 weeks we've had earthquakes here. This just happens to be a 1.8 tremor this time in San Ramon. Nobody even felt this, but it happened here in San Ramon. One of our own moderators here, I don't know whether he's here today, I haven't seen him here in the chat. One of our own moderators has a daughter here in San Ramon, east of San Francisco Bay. This is another earthquake here. Every day they've had an earthquake. This is a 1.8 tremor here. Then we go north here. Just like the other two geothermal facilities, one in Mexico, one in the desert of Imperial Valley. This one is in the mountains of California. Wine country. Wine country. Sonoma Valley, California. This is another geothermal facility here. Just north of that geothermal facility, we have a volcano. The Clear Lake volcano. Here in this area, men have drilled into the upper magma chambers of this volcano to obtain steam to power turbines here in Sonoma Valley, California at this geothermal facility. Every one of these drill points, every one of these holes in the ground here, made by men. Seismic energy comes off the Pacific plate, comes over here to the North American plate, finds these man-made earthquake faults. Guess what happens? Guess what happens, guys? Seismic energy comes here, fractures the rock inside these drill points, causing earthquakes. Causing earthquakes. That's what's going on here. Now these pipelines here run along the roadways out here in Sonoma County. They run along the roadways on the one side or the other of these roadways. The steam is pulled out of the volcano, piped through these pipelines running alongside these roadways, and it comes over here to the turbine facilities right here. This is just one of the turbine facilities. There are 81 turbines here in this facility that we have here. 81 turbines here. This is just one facility here. There are numerous others. There are numerous others, guys. There are 4 energy conglomerates that pull power from the geysers facility. One of them being Pacific Gas and Electric. I've told you stories about Pacific Gas and Electric before. The earthquakes that happen here come off the Pacific plate. The seismic energy comes over here, fractures the rock inside the tube, the drill point, fractures the rock, causing earth movement, causing earthquakes here. Every day. Today, I believe we've had at least 30 earthquakes here in this area. That's normal. Anywhere between 20 to 50 earthquakes a day here in Sonoma County, California, at the geysers facility. Every day. They're not showing earthquakes here at the volcano. There are earthquakes here at the volcano every day. They're not showing them. I've shown you earthquakes here at the Clear Lake volcano last week. They're still happening. Over here in the southern part of the Cascadia subduction zone, we have one lone earthquake here on the Gorda Escarpment. The Gorda Escarpment is an earthquake fault running away from the coastline of California, going out here in the Pacific Ocean. We have one lone earthquake. This is a 3.0 earthquake. 3.0 earthquake. Over here, closer to the coast, this is where the San Andreas Fault meets the Cascadia subduction zone. This is where the San Andreas Fault meets the Cascadia subduction zone right here, at what they call the triple junction. The triple junction of the San Andreas Fault, the Cascadia subduction zone to the north, and the Gorda Escarpment to the west. As you know, as we've explained before, the Cascadia subduction zone is the earthquake fault running alongside, parallel to the coastline of California, Oregon, and Washington. California, Oregon, and Washington here. There are earthquakes. Again, we show you Vancouver Island here. I showed you the tremor map. Why are they not showing you the tremors here at Vancouver Island? I did not pull all the seismograms showing you all the earthquakes that hit here in Washington State and Oregon today. I showed you those yesterday. Those happen every day. Not every other day, not once a week or twice a week, but every day. Every day. Hundreds of earthquakes hit this area. And yet USGS in its own wisdom decides not to show those earthquakes. I have problems with that. I have real problems with that. Up here near the Canadian border here, Loomis, Washington. This is east of Mount Baker. East of Mount Baker. Mount Baker's over here. This is the 2.8 earthquake, minor earthquake over here near Loomis, Washington. 4 miles east-southeast of Loomis, Washington. They are showing us an earthquake over here in the Puget Sound region. The Puget Sound region here, just northwest of Seattle. This is Indianola, Washington. 1.1 tremor. Interesting, but no cigar. Notice here at Mount Rainier, they're not showing us one earthquake, not one tremor, not one microquake. Not one microquake, but there are tremors and earthquakes happening every day. Every day. Microquakes, tremors, and minor earthquakes, and even 3.3 earthquakes like we showed you earlier. Do you think they'd show a 3.3 earthquake at Mount Rainier? Hell no. Heaven forbid. Then they would have to admit that there are earthquakes at Mount Rainier, and Mount Rainier was preparing to erupt. They'd have to admit it, but they're still refusing to. They're refusing to admit what's going on here at Mount Rainier. Let's go further south, right here. 4 miles southwest of Morton, Washington. 4 miles southwest of Morton, Washington. This is a 1.0 tremor here. That's a 1.0 tremor. Do you think they're showing us anything happening at Mount St. Helens? Heck no. Heck no. They don't want anybody to believe anything is going on. Yes, in the past, they showed us microquakes here. They're not even showing that. They want us to believe nothing's going on. And out east of there, here at Mount Adams, there are a ton of microquakes and minor earthquakes hitting here at Mount Adams. And Mount Adams is also steaming, as is Mount St. Helens and Mount Rainier. That's what's actually going on. Now, they are showing us one earthquake here in Oregon. One earthquake here in Oregon. Dayton, Oregon. Dayton, Oregon. But guess what? right there. Looks like a yield sign. USGS is calling this a 1.6 explosion. 1.6 explosion. What's going on here, guys? There's farmland here. There's farmland. This is 0.2 of a mile deep. This is not a surface quake. It's 0.2 of a mile deep. It's not an explosion. It's a tremor. It's a tremor. Incredible. They want to pass this off as an explosion. They want to pass this off as an explosion. Like nothing's happening here. Like nothing's going to happen. Or could it be spontaneous combustus carnivorous? An exploding tree. Exploding tree. Maybe a marmot set this to go off. Maybe a marmot or a squirrel set this explosion to go off. 1.6 tremor here. Below surface. 0.2 of a mile deep. They would have us believe it is an explosion. It's not. It's a tremor. Underneath farmland here. They're not showing us any earthquakes here at Mount Rainier. None. They're not showing any earthquakes at Mount St. Helens. None. How about Mount Hood? None. I showed you yesterday that where we have a bunch of earthquakes here at Mount Hood and harmonic tremors. But oh, heaven's sakes, we better not show earthquakes here. People might get the wrong idea that these are volcanoes. These are volcanoes. This earthquake over in the Puget Sound area, Indianola, Washington, look out, guys. I'm telling you right now, this is not the only earthquake that happened. It's not just a 1.1 tremor. This is just one seismic event out of thousands. One seismic event out of thousands here in Washington State. And again, they're not showing us anything on the USGS map. Heaven forbid they show the earthquakes at Mount Rainier. They're not. Heaven forbid. I've got a couple other things to show you before we get out of here tonight. Number one, I want to show you this. Atlas 31I. Atlas 31I. This is interesting. They finally got a picture of it. It's pockmarked. Pockmarked. At some point in time in its history, as it's flown through the solar system, it's gotten hit by rock, asteroids, poking holes in it. Poking holes in it. Guess what? 24 kilometers thick. 24 kilometers thick. It's huge. It's also about 13 miles long. 13 miles long, guys. Look at this. At some point in time, scientists thought it was a comet. It's not. They thought it was a comet because it was supposedly releasing gas. Some people thought it was an alien spacecraft powering through our solar system. Then this. This is another shot of it from Hubble. This shows what appears to be a geyser erupting from Atlas 31 or 31 Atlas. Then we have this again. This time, instead of going straight out, it goes upward. Goes upward. This is not going to hit Earth like some people thought it was. It's going to continue throughout our solar system and go out into deep space. How about that? How about that? Now I want to talk about our solar flares. We've had dozens of solar flares. They keep happening. We keep having M-class, C-class, and R-class flares. Those are small and moderate solar flares. We've also continued to have X-class flares, one of the most dangerous solar flares there is. They continue happening. They're still happening. As this happens, the sun releases gas out into space. The sun releases gas out in space. Plasma radiation. Plasma radiation radiating from the sun out into space, hitting the planets. Hitting the planets, including Earth. What's happening? What's happening when that does? We have earthquakes. Because the plasma radiation goes out through space, hits the Earth side facing the sun, hits the Earth side facing the sun, and the plasma radiation engulfs the Earth just like this. That's what happens. It engulfs the Earth. Okay? The plasma radiation is just that, plasma radiation. The radiation affects every living thing on this earth, every plant and every animal. Donkeys, horses, cows, chickens, everything, including humans. Affects the way we think, the way we feel. Affects our bodies. It also causes earthquakes. It also causes earthquakes. But what I'm going to show you now should trouble you. This should trouble you. You may have heard this before, maybe not. Our magnetosphere that surrounds the Earth typically protects our Earth from radiation, incoming objects from space, asteroids, comets. All kinds of things get caught up here in the magnetosphere and then disappear. Our magnetosphere usually protects our planet. But right now it's not happening. Right between South America and Africa, there's what they call a vast anomaly going on. The magnetosphere has a hole in it, a massive hole. And that anomaly is growing. That anomaly is growing. That hole in the magnetosphere is allowing plasma radiation from the sun to come into our atmosphere from space. When it comes into our atmosphere, it destroys satellites. When our satellites go through this area of our atmosphere, the satellites have to be powered down, otherwise they're destroyed by the plasma radiation. When the satellites go through this area of the South Atlantic Ocean, if the ground controllers don't power down the satellites, it's destroyed. It's destroyed. Sometimes it's also knocked out of orbit by the plasma radiation because it's part of the solar wind. Part of the solar wind. When the plasma radiation hits it, knocks it out of orbit. That's happened. But what happens when our planes fly through the upper atmosphere at 30,000 feet high? People on board those planes are also exposed to the planetary gases, plasma gases, the radiation. Right now, our air traffic controllers and NASA are trying to make sure aircraft don't fly through this region. They're trying to make sure aircraft don't fly through this region because the aircraft, as well as the satellites, will be exposed to the radiation. Then all heck could break loose. We could actually lose an aircraft because you can't turn off the electronics of the aircraft. You can't do it because the aircraft would fall in the ocean or crash in either South America or Africa. But this, what they call the South American anomaly or South Atlantic anomaly, it's growing. NASA's tracking it. NASA's tracking it. This is what it looks like from space. Right between South America and Africa. It's not enough for the plasma radiation to go through the magnetosphere and make it through to the Earth, causing humans and all animals to be affected, and plants as well, burning up plants. But it is also causing earthquakes. It's also causing earthquakes. Okay? We're going to report more and more about this plasma radiation. We're going to report more and more about these solar flares that keep going off because they are emergencies. They are developing emergencies, guys. We have to keep you informed about what's going on. Does anybody have any questions about anything we talked about? Any questions? I want to make sure we answer any of your questions. I know we came on there on the chat or came on YouTube late, but we had a lot to talk about. Catherine Sigerson from Manitoba, Canada, or Saskatchewan, Canada. I think we're witnessing what they left on the cave walls. That's possible. You might be right. That's possible. Any other questions? Catherine, I'm sorry your friend had a heart attack. That's sad. That's sad. Catherine says the Eskimos don't go out during the solar flares. I wouldn't blame them. The Eskimos, the Alaska people, live in the far north. And sometimes living in the far north, they're exposed to more radiation than everybody else. Fact. Fact. And Catherine, I'm so sorry to hear your neighbor passed away during one of the X-class flares. X-class flares affect everybody. 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 Any questions? Trish Killian is asking, Ron, why does NASA talk to us like we're all children in the 4th grade? It can be really annoying. I agree. I don't know. Maybe they're being told to do that. Maybe the politicians are telling them that. I feel bad because I had been introduced to the present NASA administrator years ago when he wasn't the NASA administrator. And he was very kind, very knowledgeable. He didn't talk to me like a 4th grader. Now he does. I haven't talked to him in a long time, but now he talks to everybody like we're all fourth graders, just like you're saying, Chris. Absolutely. That's what happens. That's what happens. Okay. Guys, I appreciate you all being here with us. Before I get to the end of this broadcast, I would also ask all of you to remember us in your prayers and us even in your finances. Our finances are dwindling here. We still have to keep this program on the air. We're paying $253 a month for bandwidth. Only bandwidth, unfortunately. We'd like to ask you all for your help to pay those bills. You see our two PayPal addresses here. You can send us a donation to our PayPal address. We greatly appreciate it. Also, you see our email address, rltnspdema@gmail.com. Send us your criticism, send us your comments, and also suggestions what you'd like to hear on this program. We greatly appreciate it. You see our mailing address here coming up. 504 Bethel Road, Box 401. Morganton, North Carolina. Zip code here is 28655. You can send us cards and letters. We haven't had a card and letter in a very long time. Inside that card or letter, you can insert cash or a check inside that card and letter and send us a letter telling us what you're doing in the way of preparing for emergencies and disasters. The same thing with a card. If you send us a card, tell us what you're doing to prepare for emergencies and disasters. And you can, inside that card, you can send us a donation as well. We'd greatly appreciate it. We haven't had any cards and letters in a very long time. Now, in closing, I wanted to share a scripture with you. We talk about all kinds of dark things on this program, things that are happening to all of us around this earth. Now I want to share something positive. Okay? For this devotional here, we're going to the book of Hebrews. The book of Hebrews. I want to talk about faith. Verse 7, chapter 11 of Hebrews. By faith, Noah, being warned of God of things not seen as yet, he moved with fear. He prepared an ark to the saving of his house, by the which he condemned the world, and became the heir of the righteousness which is by faith. By faith, Abraham, when he was called to go out into a place which he should have after received an inheritance, he obeyed. Abraham obeyed, and he went out, not knowing whither he went. By faith, he sojourned in the land of promise, as in a strange country, dwelling in tabernacles with Isaac and Jacob, the heirs with him of the same promise. Brothers and sisters, we walk by faith. We live by faith. We should live by faith. That's our promise. That's our promise. We live by faith. Brothers and sisters, I would hope you do so as well. Live by faith. Learn to move by faith. Learn to listen to the Holy Ghost. Listen to the Holy Spirit prompt you in everything you do. And in doing so, you will be blessed. I promise you, you will be blessed. I ask God to bless you in every way possible. May God bless you and protect you and your families as well. Brothers and sisters, I love you. I care about each and every one of you. God be with you this day and always. God be with you until we meet again. Take care, everyone. Love each other. Have a good time, but be safe. Obey the commandments. Do the things the Lord would have us do. Always, always. God be with you until we meet again. We'll see you on the other side. Good night, everybody. Much love.
Here at Emergency Management Associates, we're dedicated and true, bringing you the essential knowledge, helping you see things through. From disaster preparedness to navigating recovery's embrace, we're here to guide you in every unpredictable time and place. We break down the complex, make it easy to grasp and absorb, sharing strategies for safety, the vital lessons you can't afford to hoard. So thank you for watching, and thank you so much for your sub. You're a key part of our growing family, a member of our knowledge club. With every like, every share, and every comment you send our way, our critical message spreads further, helping more people every single day. Together we're stronger and more prepared. That's the truth we all abide. You help us build resilience with nowhere for uncertainty to hide. Your engagement truly inspires us. Your feedback acts as a guiding light, helping us continually grow and making our channel's future bright. We're always learning, always striving to be better, bring you the most up-to-date information, no matter the weather. Emergency Management Associates is here for you now and forever, it's true. Keep watching, keep learning, because we truly appreciate all that you do. Thank you. Thank you.